Okay. Well, welcome everyone. This is a Monday night. This is Monday night's rant. I am unable to change the window so it might say Sunday night rant, but it is Monday night rant. So I just wanted to wait till a few people to get online. I'm going to just start some pre instruction for Wednesday night's session here on Touching Eternity, the podcast. So I'm going to let a few people log in before I get started, and I will talk tonight a little bit about tarot and how to start preparing and training yourself to read the tarot. So I'm going to let a few people sign in, see if I got anybody with me tonight. Two people already. So great. So tonight, that's what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk a little bit about preparation for a Wednesday night session, because Wednesday night session, we're going to talk a lot about the tarot and how to, if you want to become a reader, how to get started with focusing on being able to read the tarot, and how does one reach intuitively into that. So that's what Wednesday, the Touching Eternity podcast is going to be. Alicia will not be here. She's going to be on a plane coming in from Orlando, so it'll be just myself. So I am going to be recording it so that she can follow along. She goes, "Oh no, save it for another week." I said, "Well, kind of promise it." So I am going to be working with you guys on teaching you how about tarot and how to go ahead and start learning to be more intuitive with reading. So I'm going to give you a few things tonight about that. So I'm going to wait a few more minutes because it's not quite 8 o'clock yet. I see I have only one. I had a couple now. I only have one person that is logged in. I cannot see TikTok because Magni's not here, and I don't have his login to see if there's anybody that is on TikTok watching us. But you can follow me on Facebook Live, or you can follow me on YouTube. Touching Eternity is the podcast is on the YouTube, and please subscribe if on YouTube, so that you can get the updates. And these are recorded, so they are saved, so you can go back and you can follow up or rewatch them as you like. If there's a piece that you missed, or if there's a topic that you were interested in, you can always go back and look at at the pieces that you've missed or that you're interested in. So we do save those there. Okay, so so now I don't have lost my two little followers, but that's okay. So we'll see. Yeah, like I said, it's just now 8 o'clock, and so I'm gonna see if I get a couple more people to get some people to sign in, and I'm going to review that. I also want to text, while I don't have anybody, some people who are interested in taking the class, because I'm going to do a lot of teaching of it online. Let me see if I can find some of the people. Messenger. Let me see if she's available. Hi, I got somebody signed in there. That's good. So I'm going to talk a little bit. I'm trying to see if I can find some of the people that were interested. Oh, that's why. That's the wrong one. I'm just going to get some people on here who are interested in learning about the tarot. And we're going to talk a lot about that tonight. And then we're going to do the class on Wednesday night at 8 o'clock. Let's see here. Let me find her. Let's see. Text Stacy, log in. Boom. We can get some feedback here. Log in, and there she is. Log in if you can. Yeah. Okay, so good. We got 4 people. Great. People starting to log in. See, I can text. So what I want to talk about tonight is I'm just giving you a little bit of a preamble to what's coming Wednesday night. Because Wednesday night we're going to talk a lot about the tarot. We're going to talk a lot about how to read and intuitive. And I mentioned last night when we were doing the Sunday night rant that one of the ways that I like to get people started to reading tarot. Hi, Stacy. Is to start reading children's books, the little short ones. Yeah, I don't know how old y'all are, but when I was young, I used to get these for like a quarter or 39 cents, a little bitty, like 5 to 10 page children's books. So a really good way to get in the habit of being able to read tarot is start reading children's books. And if you have some grandchildren or if you have some nieces or nephews that are young, get in the habit of start reading them stories or telling them stories, because that is get you in the habit of being fluent in your speech and your mind. It'll set a rhythm and a tone for your mind. And when you're reading cards, that's what you want. You want that rhythm. You want that tone. You want that fluidity when you're reading, because that's how it's going to flow. That's how the story is going to flow when you're sitting there with your sitter and you're feeling their energy coming in and you're looking at the cards and you're getting that story. That's how it's going to register. It's going to be just like telling a story, and it's just going to start unfolding, and it's just going to tell a story, and the cards will tell you where to go. They will tell you where to take the client, where to go with the client, what to say to them, where to bring them, what questions to ask them. People say, well, you're the psychic, why you're asking questions? Well, I'm going to ask some questions. I tell people all the time. People say, well, you tell me. Well, no, I'm going to ask some questions because I'm going to pinpoint stuff. Do you want me to give you some generalizations? I can read cards and I can give you some generalizations, and I'm going to be about 85% right on those generalizations. But if you answer a couple of questions, I'm going to raise that 85% to 95% of being correct. And I'm going to give you some pinpoint stuff. An example, I don't want to sit here and guess if you're married, single, divorced, dating, cheating, you just, widowed. I don't want to guess at all of that. Tell me that I'm going to talk about your relationship, and I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. I'm going to tell you who you're going to meet. I'm going to tell you what's going on with them. I'm going to tell you what they're doing. I'm going to tell you what the cards are saying. But if I have to sit here and guess at it, well, yeah, I'm going to give you a generalization about it. But if you want me to pinpoint it, let's skip all the bull and let's get right into it. Okay? So, yes, I will ask questions. I will ask, what do you do for a living? No. Okay, the cards are saying you have a sword career. Well, you know how many sword careers there are? Yeah, I'm psychic. I could probably see it and come close to it. Or, yeah, I can go on my head and say, oh, maybe you're doing this. But if you tell me what you're doing, I'm going to get into the nitty gritty about what you're doing. It's going to show me what it's trying to say to you. Would you rather know that than me guessing what you do? Are you here to test me as a psychic? Or do you want me to tell you what the hell's going on in your life? That's what a reading's about. So I tell people when the first time they come to read me, I'm going to ask you questions. If that's going to be a problem, this may not be a session for you. But you will understand why I ask you the questions I'm asking. I'm not asking you details. I'm asking you generalizations. Yes, I want to know what you do for a living. I don't have to sit here and guess it. Could I? Possibly. Possibly not. But if you tell me what you do for a living, I'm going to tell you crap about your work. I'm going to tell you about things that are happening at your work. But if I got to guess it first and you're going to waste all that energy and time, well, then I may not get to that other part that might have been more about what you needed to know. So there it is, and I tell people all the time, I said, people don't understand. A lot of people truly do not understand what truly a psychic or an intuitive is or how it works. They all watch too much television or watch too many movies. The psychic arts and the intuitive arts all come from the right brain. So we are given certain things through our senses, and sometimes it's a picture, sometimes it's a word, something we gotta figure it out. Or sometimes maybe it is a complete vision of something is happening, but that's not with everybody. So it just depends. It depends on the connection that I have with you and you have with me. If you're gonna sit there all cold and tensed up, I might be able to break through that, I might not. It is a three-way communication, me, you, and the spirit realm. If I can get into that soul of your loved one. So it's a three-way connection. And if we're all not working together, your reading or your session is not going to be as good as it would for somebody else. If you ever go to a gallery or a psychic night, and you might see that medium or that intuitive working a lot more with one person than the other. Well, the reason why is that person is energetically working with that person more than you are. And you might think you are, but you're not connecting energetically. Hey, Gwen. Hey, Tina. Hey, Stacy. So you may not be energetically working or on the same wavelength energetically as that intuitive is. And so, but that other person is. So that's why they're connecting more with that person than they may you or someone else in the room. And so you have to understand that. And that's why sometimes when you go to a gallery, like people always say, I went to a gallery at Mystique, my old store, a couple weeks ago, and they're like, "Sid, you always get reading." Well, yeah, I'm a medium. I put out energy. I put out good energy, and people know my energy. So, yes, a lot of times I will get. So sometimes I try to stay silent. Hey, Anita. Sometimes I will try to stay silent to see if anybody else can take it, and if they can't, then I'll take it. But it's because I know that I put out a very strong energy. Hey, Kim. And so I like people to understand that. So moving forward and going into Wednesday night, this Wednesday, like I said, I'm going to teach people all about the tarot, and I'm going to teach them about how to read and how to intuitively tap in to the tarot, and how it's different for everybody. It's the tarot cards are different for everybody. So the book or the people like. They online, they sell all this kind of stuff like, learn tarot, the master class from the master, and they sort of sell you these books with all the meanings and all this. It's a bunch of garbage because the meanings have been around forever. You're going to look at them once or twice and you're going to toss it because it has to mean something to you. Your cards learn you, and your cards will know your sitter. And what happens is that those cards will roll out what needs to roll out, and you're going to pick out what those cards will. It's really crazy how somehow the story rolls out what needs to come out between the sitter and the intuitive and the cards, and it's just a blending, and it floors me. And I'll show people this is why I'm telling you this, and I'll pull the cards up, and even if I'm not doing an online reading, I'll pull a card. This is why I'm telling you this. Look at these cards. This is what see what the pictures are. This is why I'm telling you what I'm telling you. This is what I'm seeing. This is what these cards mean. So when you come for a session, you kind of get a little bit of an education. Okay, so Tina, so this is what I tell people about tarot cards. I teach with the Rider-Waite deck. It's the one that's been around. It's the one you see in all the movies. It's the one that's been around the longest. I always recommend to start with Rider-Waite. Once you're comfortable and you learn all the cards, if you want to move into other decks, then I say that's fine. I've been using Rider-Waite since I'm 13. I don't use other decks. Most people use tons of other decks. I only use Rider-Waite. I don't use anything else. I've only learned to read with Rider-Waite. I've used Rider-Waite since I'm 13. I don't. Some readers will bring 15, 20 decks of cards and let a sitter pick the deck they want used. I don't read angel cards. I don't read, I do have some other different types of decks that they have like sayings on them where I might let you pull a saying for the day and I'll read the saying to you. And I do have my symbology cards that I teach with. And you can actually use those to do a reading with as well. And I can read playing cards too, but the tarot cards they're a deck of the tarot cards have a deck of playing cards in it, plus the major deck. There's a minor deck and a major deck. The minor deck is a regular playing deck with 4 extra jokers, which are the pages of the deck. So it's 78 cards. It's 22 major, and then there is 56 minor. The minor deck is a regular playing deck of cards with 4 jokers, which are the pages, which are the children of the tarot. And then there is the life story, which is the Fool's Journey, which is the 22 major tarot cards. So hey Denise, so that's a deck of tarot cards. And when I did the symbology deck that I do, hey Amy, yes, you get to catch me live. So the symbology card, which I use when I teach intuition and stuff, and we play a lot with those. There are also 78, and those have a mixture of colors and symbols and stuff, and it's a symbology deck, and we use that as well. And I'm going to actually do some work on one of the lives with the symbology deck as well, because there is a YouTube video on the symbology decks if you buy a symbology deck, and you can get those at Mystique or from me. I'd rather you get them at Mystique because the ones that I have, I like my mediums because I teach it in my mediumship class. So I try to save that because I sell them at half price to the mediums who take my mediumship class because we use them in the mediumship class. Oh, great. Okay, I can't. So Mike, thank you for watching it on TikTok. Magni's not here, so I can't really see who's on TikTok watching. So thank you for following my TikTok. Please tap the screen, do those all kinds of, leave little messages on TikTok. That's always helpful to boost things. And please subscribe. If you follow me on YouTube, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. It doesn't cost anything. Just subscribe. It just helps. It helps YouTube spread it out more and get more people involved. But Wednesday night, I am going to teach people how to read the tarot. Why do I get different messages from different decks? Because different decks are designed with different structure. I mean, like whenever I work with Trenny and she pulls out her cards are different than mine. So I always have to say, which one is that? Because like I can barely see, and usually when I'm out doing an event, I don't wear my glasses, so it's like even harder for me to see. So so I have to think about, she tells me what card it is, and then I got to think about it in my deck, and like, okay, that's what that card means. And so then I say, what does it mean to me? And then I blend it, so it takes me a minute. But it depends on the artwork of the cards, because the cards are supposed to give you a feel. They're supposed to give you a sense, and some of these artists are just so abstract with color, and art's great. Some of these cards are beautiful, but I'm just gonna be honest. I don't think that they're meant to be beautiful. The cards were structured back in time to have meaning and purpose, because it's supposed to make you feel and sense every life experience. That's why I like Rider-Waite. There is every life experience can be put together in Rider-Waite. And when I get to my advanced class in teaching tarot, when I get to people who are in my advanced class, I give them situations and now show me this in the cards. And I make them go through the deck and pull the cards that mean those things. And I give them situations. Show me a guilty verdict of murder. Show me a person who just got put into a got committed into a psych ward with an addiction, because there are cards that say that, and people are like, no, there's not. I'm like, oh yeah, there is. I can see it. Show it to me. But that's more advanced levels. There are set that, because I do 3-card lays. So I do the cross, but I do them in 3-card lays, and so there are sets of cards that if they fall a certain way, it will tell you those things. Like I look at people, like I talk about contracts all the time when I'm reading. Yes. So Tina, so the way the cards are laid out, they talk about past, present, and future. So in the Celtic cross, which is a cross here, and then there's 4 stacks that go up. In the Celtic cross, anything from the center of the cross to the left is the current to past. Anything is in the center to forward is the very near future. The bottom right-hand pile for me, this is how I read, is directly about the sitter, nobody else, because everything else can involve other people. And then as it goes up, it gets more futuristic. But I also look at lineage. So not only do I read it like that, like the cross, like I just showed you, but then I also read it all the way across this way, and then I read it across this way. So I read lineage too. And are there? Oh yeah, there's about 100 different lays you can do, Elizabeth. There's plenty. You can do a past, present, and future lay. You can do all types. I use the Celtic cross when I read, but I don't lay just one card. Well, I lay a cross in the center, then I lay piles of 3. Well, 1, but then I do 3 times around, and every other pile has 3 cards in it, so it tells more of a story. Because I want to get a story out there, and I read it just like a book. Like it starts the person's story just comes out into my head while I'm looking at it. and it just starts talking to me. It starts talking to me. So it tells me the conversation that I want to have with my sitter. Like, I want to talk about your job. I want to know what you do. Okay, so when I'm looking at this, I see a job change, or I see somebody really trying to overpower you at your job, and I see this person, or I see somebody leaving in your position being lifted, or I see many times it's like, you ain't staying there. I see the building moving, or I see somebody, I see you leaving your job, or I see, I will see those things. There are cards that say all these things, so, or if I'm looking at your love life, there are cards that show me you with a narcissist. There's cards that show me you with a guy who really loves you. There's a card that shows me that he loves you, you don't love him. There's cards that say, you love him, he don't love you. There are cards that say all those things. So it's the cards tell the story. And I've read many of you who are following me right now, so you understand it because you've seen me read you, and I've showed you these things in the cards. And so, but the cards can say anything in life. Hey, Alicia, my love. So again, the cards can say anything. And that's why my favorite reading when I do, and Stacy really pushes this too. And everybody, Stacy's with us, and she's doing wonderful. She sounded great on the phone yesterday. She actually sounded better than I've ever heard her. I was like, "You sure you don't want the phone now? You can have the phone back." But she sounded real good. Hey, Mary. I've been on the phone with Mary today too. So, hi everybody. So the cards are really a phenomenal tool, and they really help you down. People say, "Can you read yourself?" I don't recommend it. Here's why. I know a lot of psychics. Every morning they get up and they flip their cards up. But I'm gonna tell you why I don't recommend it. Because we tend to only see what we want to see when we read ourselves. like we tend to make it what we want to make it. Oh, it looks like I'm gonna have a lucky day, or if it's a bad thing, well, it can't be that bad. It's like we try to make it. So I don't like to read myself. Because, and it also, if you read yourself, I find that it takes away from part of the journey. If I go see it, and I do see psychics. When I go to see a psychic, I like to see what they say to me, because I like to find out what's coming ahead, and I like to prepare for it, and I like to, focus on that side of the journey. And I've been to some really good ones, and I've been to some not so good ones. So there's a mixture, and it doesn't mean that the people who are not so good aren't good psychics. It means that they just weren't good for me. Because you have to have an energetic bond with your reader, and in order for something, and again, and that's why I don't get my feelings hurt if someone comes to me and they might not, and I don't know of any, but I mean, I'm sure I've had one or two that may have come to me and say, oh, they might rather go somewhere else, and that's fine. That does not hurt my feelings, because I know that you have to have a kind of a bond with your sitter. And it's that bond that opens the doorways, that opens the scene. And I'm very down to earth, and I will tell, and people who know that about me, and I'll tell you like it is. Like, and even my mediumship clients, do pictures help you? They can help me, but I know a few psychics that rely a lot on pictures. Actually, the mediumship gallery I went to at Mystique a couple weeks ago with Alicia. Alicia loves pictures. That's her big thing. Alicia Fosen from Mississippi, that is her big thing. She loves pictures. She's very good at reading pictures. She's extremely good at reading pictures. And so some people, that's their thing. For me, my strongest gift is my vision. When you see me shut my eyes, I start seeing pictures in black and white, and they have very significant meaning. That's where my strongest sense is a good way to put it. That's my that and my gut feeling. Those are my two, my clairsentience and my clairvoyance are my strongest. I'm also extremely good with medical. Extremely good with medical. If I sense it, believe it. And I'm very good at, and this is something that a lot of the spiritualists don't think you can do, but I can do. I can tap into your dead people and see your future through your dead people. A lot of people don't think that's possible, but I have proven it time and time again. And I don't know why, because a lot of I've had some spiritualists tell me that that's not possible, but I do it all the time. Like I literally had someone's dead father tell me things, or somebody's mother or brother tell me things that they were going to tell me what they were going to do to prove their existence to them, and they did it. They told me beforehand what they were going to do later on, and they've done it. So, explain a little more. Okay, so the most famous one, the most wild one, was when and I've told this story a bunch of times, but I will say it again. Was I was doing a gallery at this woman's house on the West Bank, and I kept telling her, I said, "Do you have a bench on your carport?" And she says, "No." And I'm like, "You sure?" She's like, "No." I said, "Well, your daddy keeps showing me a bench on the carport, and he keeps telling me that on that bench he's going to place a dead black bird." And she said, "Can you tell me the kind of bird?" I was like, "No, it's a bird that I have never heard of, and I don't think he's ever heard of it." And she's like, "That's kind of funny." She says, "No, but I don't have a bench out there." I said, "Well, you sure?" She said, "I'm positive." And we laughed about it because I said, "Well, he showed me that. Just know that I said it." A week later, Hurricane Ida passed, and she took all her patio furniture from her yard and put it under her carport. When she went outside after the hurricane, there was a dead black bird on the bench under her carport. And she took a picture of that bird and sent it to the Audubon Society. And that black bird, got caught up in Ida in Africa and got stuck in the hurricane and died on her bench under her carport. Now, her dad showed me that a week before it happened. So that's the kind of stuff. Like, that's wild. Can't make that stuff up. So, like, her dad showed me that a week before. And she called me up and it's like, "You are not going to believe this." I said, "That's wild." We literally laughed about it. I was like, he showed it to me. I got to tell it to you. That was one. I also had a woman's daughter who had passed show me. She kept saying, "My mom is in so much grief. You gotta help her get rid of her pain. She keeps coming to you. It's not helping her." But she kept telling me, "Tell my mama to look for the 3 moons over the doorway. When she sees those 3 moons, tell her that's me telling her that her grief will be relieved." I barely remembered even saying that to this woman, because when I'm in my right brain, I don't remember a lot of things I say to people. Well, lo and behold, this woman was a tour guide in the French Quarter, and she had lost her daughter, and she was torn, and she looked over at this door, and there was 3 moons over the door, and she had realized that she went the whole day without grieving over her daughter, and and she called me up and told me about it. I mean, you can't make this up. You know what I mean? You can't. But so I get a lot of things from dead people about future events that are going to happen. I've seen many of people who had health issues that would have died if their dead people hadn't showed me their health issues. I mean, there's a lot of other things. But what I wanted to say too earlier before I started telling everybody hello was that's why I tell people when they come to see me, rather than getting just the plain tarot, which I recommend, if you do that, it's only do the 30-minute one, because that's really all you need. But to get the combo, the hour, if you want an hour, get the combo, because then I'll do a lot more intuitive stuff, as well as you get the tarot, but you also get the intuitive stuff. When you get the 30-minute tarot, it's basically mostly just tarot. I just read the tarot cards. You get 2 lays, and you get 2 lays of the card, 1 or 2 lays of the cards, depending on how much time we take. And you get 2 questions, and that's it. But when you do a combo, you usually get 2 or 3 lays of the cards, and you get 3 questions. But I also tap in intuitively, and depending on how much I get from that, we're there at least an hour. And I'll tap in intuitively, and I'll also do your numerology, and I will also do, if I have time, I'll even do your palm. So I do a little bit of palmistry too. And I'll teach that someday to y'all too. But I don't know if I can do it on the thing. Yeah, I guess I could. We can show hands, and I can show you lines. But anyway, so we're going to do a little bit of education here on on my lives. I'm going to start with tarot this Wednesday night. And what is numerology? With numerology, we did so you can go back. So I'm going to tell you what it is, but you can also go back. We did a show where I was doing people's numbers. So, and all these are recorded on YouTube and they're on Facebook, but on YouTube you can go back and look at them. There is one on numerology that you can watch where I go in a little more detail. But numerology is where we do your life path numbers, and it's Pythagorean's numerology. So there is a science, well, Pythagorean call it science of philosophy. He was it was like Pythagorean's numerology, and so it's just it's your number by using your birth date and your birth name, and you can actually do a whole chart by it. It shows patterns in your life and things that will happen during your life by numbers, by the numbers that you see and the numbers that happen, and what they mean for you. And it's very interesting. I actually teach that as well, and that's going to be coming up probably sometime in the summer. I have a few people interested in numerology. They want tarot first, mediumship, then I will do numerology, and at the end of the summer, beginning of the fall, right around the end of hurricane season, I am going to be doing my energetics class, which I highly recommend to everybody. Highly recommend, but because if you don't make it to Touch an Eternity in Orlando, then you need to catch it later on here. It's going to be a 3-day class. It's a class that will help anybody, not just people who are into the healing or mediumship or psychic abilities. It's also for people just to get their lives together. So it's a very good class. But anyway, I do recommend the combo, and Stacey will definitely recommend the combo to people when they call, because you get a little bit of everything. You get Sid on steroids versus me just reading your tarot or doing your numbers or just connecting to your dead people. Because while I'm doing the combo, whoever comes through, I will tell you, I don't do a lot of mediumship because that really pulls me. When I do that's why mediumship's a lot more expensive than anything else, because it pulls me. It puts me into my right brain, and it's very hard to come back. So Zay's like, yep. But when I'm doing your cards, I will tell you who's coming through, and sometimes if they give me some messages for you, I'll give it, or if they just come through and say, hey, and I'll use them to read through to you. And I'll tell you who it is, who's coming through. And sometimes I'll give you a couple validations, but it won't be a big lengthy reading because I stick with the cards and I'll stick with your numbers and stuff like that. You get a little bit of everything. So the combo is highly recommended. But again, to prepare for Wednesday night, get in the habit of reading stories, short stories. Children's stories are the best because they're very creative, very imaginative. So you're using that right brain more. If you read something boring, you want to go into that left brain. I want you to stay in the right brain. So children's stories are the best. Nursery rhymes, children's stories, read those and get in the habit of saying those, and that will help you prepare. We're going to talk a little bit about numerology in the cards. We're going to talk a little bit about the colors in the cards. We're going to talk a little bit about the symbology in the cards. We're going to talk a little bit about, we're going to go over it's going to probably take 2 weeks to do this. We're going to go over the major deck for sure. And I probably will go over the court cards of the minor deck. I'm not going over every card. That's a lot of cards. I will have y'all cutting y'all wrists before it's over. I do have a class called Tarot the Whole Story, which I will show you the book, and that I put together for that class, and you're welcome to come take that with me. It's called Tarot the Whole Story. But this course that I'm going to do free for you online will be enough to get you started. So if you come take Intuitive Tarot with me, you will be a step ahead. If you come take Tarot the Whole Story, you will already be a step ahead, and you can start practicing at home. And I will give you a short little lay you can do once you're home. Once you start practicing, to start learning to read the cards. So that's going to be really, really like a lot of fun for you guys. So I will have you soon reading and learning how to read. But again, read friends, read neighbors, read people you know. Try not to read yourself. Find somebody here online and y'all can swap reads. Now with the internet, you don't have to go to somebody's house. You could get on Messenger and y'all could read each other on Messenger. You don't even have to go to someone's house. Just as you're watching me right now, you could be online with somebody doing a reading. It's going to be 8 p.m. 8 p.m. Wednesday, Central Standard Time, that I'll be going over. I'll be doing the tarot introduction. And I will show you the book that I've put together, and we'll go over it one by one. And if I get somebody out to get really good, you can come on the road with me. We can go do some traveling psychic tours. And y'all can start going to read some people on the weekends and make a little extra money. Who knows? So y'all get good at it. Y'all get good at it. So this would be a great opportunity. So a little bit too, there are 4 suits, just like in a deck of cards. There are 4 suits. The coins or the pentacles are the diamonds of the suit. The swords are the spades. The cups are the hearts. And the wands are the clubs. They look like clubs, actually, but they look like big long clubs. They call them the wands, but that's the clubs of the suit. So again, it's a deck of playing cards with 4 jokers, which are the pages, and it's ace through king plus 4 pages. So the pages are like a joker for each suit. So instead of 52 cards, there's 56. And then there's 22, which is the Fool's Journey Through Life. And the Fool is 0, then there's 21 major decks. So it's 22 cards. And we're going to go through, on Wednesday, we will go through the major deck. And I will give you some basics. And then probably the following week, we'll go through the minor deck. And we'll go through the court cards, and I'll explain to you, like, which card is the redhead, who's the blonde, who's the brown, I'll tell you all those things, and we'll go through some symbolism and color therapy, and I'll give you the numbers. I'll give you the numerology to the card, so that way when you're looking at the suit and you blend it with the suit, when you blend the number with the suit, you'll kind of understand some of the meaning of it. And then you can look in your books and kind of see what it means. Because I tell people, when you buy the Rider-Waite deck, read the meanings of the cards twice. Read it once, put the cards under your pillow, sleep with them. I call it osmosis learning. Sleep with them, build a relationship with them. I did. Sleep with them, put them under your pillow. Then read the book again, and then put them under your pillow, sleep on it again. Then after the second time you read the book, throw it away. And then start looking at the cards. What does this mean to me? 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 And then start laying them out 2 or 3 at a time. What does this situation mean to me? What does this situation mean to me? What does this situation mean to me? Start laying them out. Pick a random 3 cards, laying them out. What does that mean to me? What does that mean to me? If I see this, what does that mean to me? And that's how you learn. What does that mean to me? And every day you just get up and you lay out a spread and read it. It doesn't have to be for anybody. Just read and say, what does it mean to me when I see this? And your spirit team will learn how you see things. And so when you're reading somebody, it will come out. Everybody's a little different. I let my sitters shuffle the cards. How do I know if it's correct? I don't. You don't. The sitter tells you. But the sitter comes back and your return clients tell you did good. and I have about I would say I have about a 95 to 98% return client. Wouldn't you say, Stacy? I probably got a 95 to 98% return client. That's how you know when they come back. And they tell you, I wrote all this down and all this happened, and now I got to come back. And sometimes it happens really fast, and they back in 3 months, and sometimes they come back a year later. Well, it took a little while, but then all of this stuff happened, so I figured I better come back, And so, and remember, here's where most people make mistakes in tarot, and I'm just going to be real with you. They overdo life. See, I'm very practical when I read. I have to see it in the cards. I don't get some people tell the wildest friggin' stories. Like I literally had this woman tell this woman, I'm like, I see you getting in a wreck with a green car, and I see you losing your arm. Now there is nothing in the tarot that shows you're going to lose an arm. Now, you might see that in your head, okay? But she literally told, and this woman went like fearful. You don't say that. There are ethics in tarot, and that comes in the advanced class when I start teaching you the ethics in it. You never say nothing negative, because the whole purpose of tarot is not to scare people. It's let me show you your obstacles so I can help you beat them, so we can be prepared. Because so you don't scare people with tarot. You want people to see what's coming so that they can do better. Like, wouldn't you want to know if you were going to get a speeding ticket, or if you had to go to court for something so you could prepare for it, or you could avoid it? I mean, like, if I told you I see cops following you home, so you drove careful and you saw cops all of a sudden pulling behind you, following you home, and you don't speed. Well, thank God, because I normally speed. I knew to drive safe because Sid told me I was going to have cops following me. You see, and that's just an example. I mean, you see what I'm saying? I mean, or if I tell somebody, I see you having to go take tests for cancer, so I want you to go see your doctor. I'm not going to say, I see you have cancer, you're going to die. You don't tell people that. No, I see cancer in your body. I want you to go get checked, because if we check it early, we can attack and get good care and get you fixed. Where if I didn't tell you that, guess what would happen? You don't read cards negatively. And for every negative response, there's a positive response. And that's what I tell people. You know, so I get a lot of people that tell me, oh, I'm scared of getting my cards read. I'm scared. Why? Don't you want to fix something? Do you know you're going to get a flat tire? Wouldn't you want to go get a new tire before that tire went flat? Or wouldn't you want to make sure your spare was right? You know what I mean? If I tell you you're going to get a flat, don't you make sure you got a spare in the back that's going to be prepared, or you're going to have your AAA paid up, or you know what I mean? Because I saw the flat tire, so you need to go make sure you got just that's why you get read. People, you should never be scared of a reading. I'm never going to tell you. First of all, tarot cards do not predict death, because there's no such thing as death. There's only life after life, so you're never going to see death. Now, I might say, I see illness, but if I see illness, we can look at possibly getting you healed, because hopefully we're going to see it early enough. And if it's not early enough, then we're going to look at how to prepare. I did a reading yesterday, and a couple days ago, actually, and a few days ago, and there are situations. I won't use a couple days ago. I was reading somebody, and I looked at this woman. I said, "Now hand me the gun that's in your purse." She looked at me. "How you know I got a gun in my purse?" I said, "Because I can see it." And so she reached in her purse and she handed me her gun. Tag I'm in. Well, I can't leave this woman now because she's gonna kill herself. So I had to wait, and I had to call family. I had to sit with her. I had to cancel all the rest of my appointments for that day, and I had to sit with her till her family could get home, and I could give the gun to her family, because she was depressed. I mean, these things happen. You have to be logical. Many times I'll sit with a session, and I know Stacy knows of a couple of these, because I think she was at the center one time when I had somebody who was contemplating suicide. I can't leave that person. I had a gallery. Actually, that was the night I had a gallery, and I was an hour late to the gallery because I had somebody that I had to talk out of suicidal tendencies. And so I can't leave until I know they're safe. Those things will happen because you have an obligation. When you do this type of work, you have an obligation. You can't you have to have a moral compass when you do this type of work, and you have an obligation. And some people come to you because they are depressed or because they don't know what to do, and you're there. And your job as the reader is to show them that there are things they can do. There are ways out of situation. That's why they're coming to you, to say, "Hey, I'm in a tough bind. I need to see what I can do." You wouldn't know the women that come to me and say, "Hey, look, I'm sleeping with these 3 guys. I don't know what to do." I'm like, well, dump them all and start new. Sleep with three different ones. I mean, I've actually have had that conversation. And I love when they tell me, and they're all married, and I'm like, oh, that happens. That happens. I've had guys tell me the same thing. You know, it, you know, it's crazy, so you have to remember, you're there to help them achieve the best versions of themselves. And you're there to point out the roadblocks, and you can't have an opinion. You cannot have an opinion about your sitter, and you might have to excuse yourself. And I give this to my animal lovers. I tell this to my animal lovers all the time. Wait till you get the one who sits down there and tells you that they like to burn animals alive. What do you do? Because they're there for help. They want to stop. They want to know what's wrong with them. Why they don't. So you have to sit there and counsel them. I've had to have those crucial conversations. So it can be tough. So that's why I tell people. So when you get into this, if you do learn tarot and you do get into the intuitive arts, there will be times you get hit with a tough one. I'll give you an even tougher one. I had to go read for my rapist family. That was tough. I made Trenny go with me. That was spirit testing me. I knew what that was. It happens. So, there are tough moments. There are tough moments in this field. And so you have to be prepared for those. Hey, Chris, you have to be prepared for those. But that's what the tarot is about. So if you get somebody that tells you that they're scared of readings, or they're scared, oh, this is Satan's work. No, it's not. It's here to help you. It's a tool to help you prepare for what's to come, to help decrease your fear. It's to help you to decrease your fear and decrease your insecurities about things that are coming up. That is why you go get a reading done. Because nothing's going to happen that you don't want to happen. Let's start with that, because you're in control of your own life. Not, I could sit here and tell you you're going to meet a boyfriend, but if you don't leave the house, you ain't going to meet him. You are in control. I love that when women come to me like there'll be I'm gonna call it the over 65 club, and they'll come in here and you can tell that they're widowed, and they're like, am I ever going to meet the love of my life, again? And I'm like, well, you ever going to leave the house? Like, no. And I'm like, well, then you're never going to meet him. He's not going to come ringing your doorbell. So you have to do there has to be an action to get a reaction. And so you have to do something to stimulate the action. So you have to get out. You have to go start maybe doing something. It doesn't have to be something big. You don't have to go to a bar, but you could go to the coffee shop and have coffee for breakfast, or go grab a bagel or something in the morning. Take a walk in the park with some friends. Go to the mall. There are things you can do. Start to be more social when you meet people. Talk to them. Don't put up a wall when somebody talks to you, or somebody says hello. Say hello back. And if you come within 20 feet, say good evening, good morning, good day. Be that person who is responsive. Let the fear go. And that's how you will meet somebody. So there are things you can do. And so when you're learning tarot, these are things that you have to keep in mind. And a lot of the ethics parts come into the advanced class. Right now in the beginning, dang it, not going to meet my love in the house. No, not unless you want to date the postman or some of them Amazon drivers are pretty hot. I'm just saying. Order more Amazon, girl. No, anyways. But, but, you can do things to promote your well-being. And that's what I look at when I'm reading for someone. I look at where the cars are driving me, and we work on those areas, and then I find out from them, what do you want to work on? What brought you to me? What if there's something I didn't talk about? Most people will tell you, and especially the people here to comment, if I've read for them, they'll say, most of them I'll ask them when we get to the questions part. I'll say, do you have any questions? Well, no, you hit everything. But if there's something specific, about what you wanted, that we talked about, that you want to know something more about or more in detail, like, like a date or when, or you can ask that, so you can ask anything, so know that. So you can get real specific with the questions. But most people want to give general questions. Am I going to be happy? And I look at them, and when they ask me that one, I just want to knock myself in the head, and I'm go, are you going to be happy? And I'm like, no. Because if you had to ask me that, then you don't know how to be happy. Because happiness comes from within. No one's going to make you happy but you. So if you haven't understood that, and you're 45 years old, and you don't realize that you make you happy, nothing else makes you happy. So if you haven't figured that out by 45 years old, it might take a bullet or a train to hit you, or a book in the head or something to hit you in the head, or else that you are the only person that's going to make you happy. So, so no, I doubt you're going to ever be completely happy. So happiness comes from within. Find your joy. Find your joy. Whatever your joy may be, find it. Find it. Find what makes you smile. Find what fills your heart. When I was growing up, I'll share this with you guys. When I was growing up, yeah, cayenne pepper makes me happy. I hear that. I know it did, Chris. When I was growing up, I never thought that little children would bring me joy, but they do now. Now that I'm older, when I see well-behaved, I'm gonna stress that one, well-behaved little kids, and I think about what they may become when they grow older, sometimes that'll bring a tear to my eye, and I just feel happy. That's a happy tear. And I'll say, oh, that's just so cute. Especially when I see my friend Alicia's kids, she was in here a little while, and she still is, because I just love those little kids. Well, one of them's not little no more, but she was little when I first met her. But when I look at those little kids, and I puts a smile to my face, and it makes me happy to see the potential in children, and those are the things that make me happy. And it makes me sad when I think about the world they're growing up in today, with all the hate and negativity that's flying around. But I'm hoping that they have good parents that try to shield them from all that hate and negativity, and try to invest positive vibes into them, and keeping them in a positive frame of mind, because that's what our children need these days. But anyway, so Wednesday night, 8 o'clock Central. I am going to come on again probably tomorrow night. I don't think I have anything scheduled tomorrow, so I probably will come on tomorrow night, and I will talk some more with you guys. And y'all really interacted a lot tonight. I want to thank everyone that has come in tonight. We will talk a little bit more tomorrow about tarot. In fact, I will probably bring the book that I put together for tarot tomorrow night and show it to everybody, just to show you where I'm going to be teaching from. And I will also bring the Rider-Waite deck in here with me tomorrow night, and just kind of show them just the pictures. And then Wednesday night we'll get into the meat and potatoes of it, because we only have an hour, and that class is usually 3 hours long. And I don't have a blackboard to write anything, so it's just going to be a lot of verbal. And so I just want to kind of get everybody prepared and warmed up for it. So I really appreciate you guys joining me. Magni comes home Wednesday night, so he's going to probably, I have a PowerPoint that I will use as well on Wednesday night too. Do y'all have any questions for me? Do y'all want to know what the cayenne pepper is about? Chris knows what it's about, because it works. Thank you, Tina. I appreciate you too. Love. So let me tell you all about cayenne pepper. And we have said this before, but I will say it again in case there's anybody new in here. Actually, I just lost some people. They thought I was hanging up, but hopefully they didn't miss it. So cayenne pepper is an old New Orleans thing where if you want to get rid of somebody that's like in your house and they've been tell email, yeah, tell emails, yeah, email me when you get rid of somebody. If somebody is living in your house, or you have neighbors you want to get rid of, or if you just want to get rid of something, you sprinkle cayenne pepper across the path they walk, and within 2 weeks they go away. I have and somebody gave it to me. It worked for me. I have given this to like 5 other people. It has always worked for them. Chris was one of them, and it worked for her. And we don't know. Something always happens, and within 2 weeks they move, they go, they leave. So it works. I don't. We don't know why it works. It just works. So if you ever need somebody to move or get away from you, use cayenne pepper. It works wonders. It truly does. It does. I've never heard of it failing yet. I'm sure it will. One day it's gonna fail, but it has not failed me yet. I've been giving it to at least 5 other people, and it has never failed. And I've used it myself. And a roommate needed to go. Put cayenne pepper across, like 2 weeks gone. Thought they were never gonna leave. They left. So just again, if you this cayenne pepper works. If you ever need to get rid of somebody, call me. I have a good formula for you. Oh, it truly does work. It even works for neighbors. You got neighbors you want them to move, particularly across their driveway. I just crisscross with salt poured in the middle will stop the rain when the salt dissolved. All right. I got to remember that one, Tina. We have, you know what? That's what we need to come. I need to do on the podcast. We need to have a piece of the podcast where we do that. We create a recipe book for things like that. Let everybody share their recipes. We need to do that. That would be pretty cool. That would be a cool piece for this. And we could just keep the recipes, and we can collect them for a year. And every year we can post out a new book where people can download a book of recipes from all the people. That's okay, Chris. I do the same thing. Anyway, so I'll be on tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. I hope to see you guys. I appreciate it. Depending on how, if you know, guys, after working all day, I've come home. I've been so tired. I have gotten so much done at work since the snow. I've just been exhausted. But I may do some. I probably will do. I may do some readings tomorrow night. I'll probably be in the mood. Earlier today, there's somebody named Rose. Somebody passed named Rose in this room earlier, but I didn't want to go there because I am exhausted. I did not want to start that up. But tomorrow I will probably do some readings. Just today I was tired. I didn't sleep good last night. So hopefully tonight I will sleep good, and tomorrow after we finish I'll probably do a couple of readings for you guys, okay? It's been a little while since I've done that. So I love you. Y'all take care. I will see you tomorrow night at 8. Bye.